Hey guys, it's Ilana, and this week's theme on X Girl Life X is how to. So today I'm going to show you guys how to survive the rest of school. So I know that most schools have 1 to 2 months left in the school year, and for me, those 2 months are the most stressful because I have end of the year state tests. And teachers are always like pressuring us like we have to learn stuff super duper quickly because teachers have like a certain amount of things that they have to teach you by the end of the year so you're prepared for next year. So there's always like those teachers that like take their time in the beginning of the year and then in the end of the year they're always like, oh my gosh, I haven't taught like 10 subjects to my kids when we have like 1 month left of school, and they're all like, come on, like you gotta learn. It's very rushed and pressured, and I know that it's very hard for me. It just gives me a lot of stress. So today I'm going to give you 5 tips on how to deal with these things, and it's not just for the end of school. It could be for the whole school year for you if you want to. It could be for like time where you're going to have a lot of work or anything like that, or you can just use it whenever you want or whatever if you have a really weird teacher that you just can't handle. But let's just get on to the video. The first tip is to go with the flow with your teacher. I know there are some teachers that are just, they're crazy, they're hard to handle, they're just not meant for teaching, and I can relate. I know, like, I have a few teachers like that. I've had them in the past, I have them right now, but if you just go with the flow with the teacher, it'll be so much easier. Like, if your teacher has, like, just kind of, like, every teacher has, like, a little style of teaching, and if you just do the stuff that they ask, if you just, pay it, like, if you just try to keep up with the teacher, you will do well in that class. And just trust me, like, you don't have to be like super antisocial in the class, and you don't have to be like super spontaneous, but just go with the flow, follow the teacher's directions, just try to give the teacher what he or she wants, and trust me, you will do fine in that class. The second tip is to stay organized. I know this is a very, very big problem for me, staying organized and stuff like that, but just keep, various, like one folder with all one subject, another folder with another subject, or another thing that you can do is keep a big binder of your morning classes and then a binder of your afternoon classes, and that helps out too. Another thing that is a major, thing in staying organized is keeping a planner, which I mean, my school gives me a planner, but I don't use it. But some schools give out planners, and I know that, like for each day you can write down all the stuff you need to do. That really helps out. If your school doesn't give you a planner, it's no problem. You can buy like a planner at Walmart. I've seen like little life planner thingies with calendars. You can do that and write down your homework, like projects to do, tests to study for. And if you're not really about that planner life, you can take your phone and you can go to calendar and set important dates. So for example, if you have like a test coming up like 2 or 3 days before the test, like write down study for the test. If you have a project to do 4 days before the project is due, put an alarm, like a reminder, like project due, get started, or stuff like that, which is, super dandy since I have my phone on me pretty much 24/7, and that helps a lot so you don't like forget all your stuff. The third tip is to have a study buddy. This isn't necessarily a tutor, because a tutor is when you sit down with somebody that's older than you or somebody that's a little bit more advanced academically than you, and you study together when you have a problem with something. But a study buddy would be like you and your friend, every once in a while getting together, studying for a test, doing homework, just kind of reviewing, working on a project together. This is really good because like it gets you motivated, kind of like, if I I get to go with so and so to go study, like I'll do good in school, so I can keep going and studying with somebody, and it also helps the other person, and it helps, you know, keep contact with like friends and the whole mumble jumble of stuff that we call school. So it's very good to have a study buddy. The fourth tip is to pay attention in class. I know this is a very big problem with me. There's some classes that just pass by like this. It feels like 15 minutes and the class is over, and it's like, oh darn. But then there's those classes that feel like they're 3 hours long, and you look at the clock and it's only been 5 minutes. Trust me, I feel you. Sometimes I just feel like putting my head down like this and just going to sleep. Oh my god, like I hate those type of classes, and it's very, very hard for me to pay attention. Some things that you can do like in the class is, what I like to do is I like to kind of like draw on like a little piece of scrap paper. So I'll just like entertain myself, like I'll draw a flower, and I'll just kind of like look at the teacher semi, you know, listening, getting the most information. And another thing you could do is, you know, keep a little piece of paper, and when you feel like she's saying something important, write down, like jot down a little note, like if the science teacher says like the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell, just write down the mitochondria is the powerhouse of the cell. And this goes perfectly with the tip before. So when you write that down, the little note, and you go with your study buddy, you can review that, and it'll just work out so perfectly. And I should probably do this more often. I should listen to myself. But that's a very big key into getting good grades. You know, paying attention, writing down notes, just making sure you have all the information that you need. The last tip is probably the most important tip, and it is give yourself some you time. I know that school can take up a lot of time, considering like if you're in high school or just whatever, if you're having trouble with a certain, you know, like grade, if it's like 5th, 6th, 7th, whatever, but make sure to give yourself some you time, because if you don't give yourself you time, then you'll get overwhelmed, you'll get stressed, you'll get anxiety, and trust me, it's not good. So just make sure, like at least an hour or two a day, just stop what you're doing and say, you know what, I'm gonna give myself some me time. What I like to do is I like to go on my phone and I like to go on YouTube, because that is just, I love YouTube. I like to also paint my nails. I like to try out different makeup styles. I like to hang out with my dog, watch TV. Just make sure that you give yourself some me time, because it's very, very important. So that is my video for this week. Make sure to check out all of our other videos and click that subscribe button down below if you haven't already, because that would be awesome. So I will see you guys next Thursday on X Girl Life X. Bye guys!